Hey, we're in the stream this week as soon as we go live. We're always improving here. Fight Show, episode 25, presented by No Slap, 717 Surplus, and our new friends over at 500level.com. We linked up with them. You can see Bill's lovely physique over here sporting from different. He's going to vogue it a little for you guys.
I like it. It's comfortable.
You like it?
Thank you.
You like it?
Yeah.
I got the Alex Pereira Poetan on. Had to go with the stone hand. But no, check them out, guys. 500level.com. You can go over there and, of course, can you guess what the code is, Bill? I know you're not really in on the,
Fight Show 20.
Just Fight Show. Fight Show
Fight
for 20%
Show. Okay.
off. 20% off. We'll leave it down there at the bottom for you guys, but they have, let me show you guys what's up. We linked up with them. This is not just for MMA fans. If you happen to be one of those icky people that likes football too, like Bill.
I'm not liking it so much more these days, but go ahead.
You can put your email in as soon as you get here, get 15% off your first order, and then save code Fight Show for your second order to get the 20. But they got your random basketball players who have no clue who they are. All the players associations, WWE, if you're a wrestling fan, they got a lot of good stuff. Like I said, as with anything, follow the instructions when you get it. I can tell I've had shirts like these printed before. Follow the instructions, possibly flip it inside out. It'll extend the life of it. But honestly, they're not bad shirts, guys. Bunch of different options. Like I said, any sport you can think of, the four majors, WWE. They got some throwbacks here, some old Johnny Bench. I reckon that Randy Johnson, Nolan Ryan. So a lot of cool stuff if you're a sports fan, not just an MMA fan. Like I said, check them out, 500level.com. Code Fight Show.
I'm using my nose slap right now. Don't leave the house without it.
Yeah. And while we're doing some housekeeping notes, hit them. The old noslap.com. Again, code Fight Show, 20% off your order. It's pretty much par for the course. If you know we're bringing you something, it's usually code Fight Show, and it's usually 20% off. The cool thing about these guys is, though, actually, and we kind of threw it all together. The thing happened last minute, so we wanted to share the code. But a portion of our sales, we're taking a portion, and the guys from 500 Level are taking a portion, and we're going to donate it to Geese for GIs, which is a nonprofit that sends jiu-jitsu gis to service members around the world wanting to train jiu-jitsu. So shout out to Brian. I've known him and Geese for GIs for a while. We're excited to be able to donate some stuff to them. So every shirt you guys purchase, everything you guys purchase on there will be doing some good towards some veterans. We'll have Brian on here. Like I said, we kind of just had this thing fall together at the last minute, so we wanted to let you guys know. Other than that, been some events going on just in the last couple of days, bud. Been paying attention?
I heard some craziness happened today. we can get into that. For the first ever stoppage by toe splinter.
Yeah, way for the PFL to just be ahead of their game, and they said we got to do something that the UFC has never done before. We need a TKO from Splinter. And I don't mean the rat from Ninja Turtles. I mean an actual Splinter.
That indeed has never been done before. I've never seen that before. Cedric Doumbé was fighting who I really like. He was fighting an 8-0 guy, and I'm not going to murder his last name on the internet. But I'm waiting to see actual footage of what happened. But what I'm hearing is that Doumbé got a splinter in his toe from the cage and told Mark Goddard, and Mark Goddard waved the fight off.
Yeah, so I was watching. You might be able to check the replay out. They had it on PFL.
I was working until 6 p.m. So for that, I apologize. I saw the internet on fire when I got home.
Yeah, so
about this.
The fight starts. He goes to step, and you see him look at the ref. And I didn't know if we had like a Brian Ortega situation where the jump at the beginning or getting into the cage. Some of these guys get in the cage and have their routine. So I didn't check that part. And then he steps. Goddard's like, "Come on, fight." He says something to him. They step again. He stops him again. Goddard calls the fight, and he says in there, and he shows in the post fight I don't know what it was, wood, glass, something, but there was something, a definitive splinter. I wouldn't say it was nothing huge. It was definitive. But yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know. They'll clearly run it back for something like that. Cedric Doumbé did not lose. I mean, he lost by TKO, but he did not lose the fight. So I look for them.
No, listen, they were. I'm guessing Goddard. Listen, that's a tough call because you've never seen it before. But now I've had time to reflect on it. The correct call is to warn the guy that there is no timeout for this. If he doesn't continue to fight, you're going to stop the fight, and it needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed between rounds. All right, because that's up there with almost like God. That's almost like an act of God. That's not like that's like an equipment malfunction, or I don't think Doumbé wanted him to stop the fight. I think he wanted to get the splinter out. And I think if Goddard would have explained, if you stop fighting again, if you don't fight immediately, I'm going to stop the fight for a TKO. I think Doumbé would have kept going. That dude, now I've had the privilege of taking an hour to think about, hey, what would have been the right call there? Mark Goddard's thinking of that shit on the fly, which, it can put you. I remember I refed a fight up in Mitch Killeen, something like that.
Yeah, Mitchell Killeen, yeah.
His right leg actually went through the side, like between the mat and side of a cage, and he was turtled up. I forget who he was fighting, but the guy was on the back of him, and he was landing some punches, and he's like, my leg is stuck. I was like, oh, you got to move. He's like, no, my leg is stuck. And when I finally saw what he was talking about, his leg had actually slid through the bottom of the cage in the mat. And he obviously had nothing to base off of to push himself back through. So in the moment, I called time. I gave him just a tiny bit of time to recover, and I started him in the same position because there's nothing really in the rule book that covers that. So I don't know if I made the right call or not, but nobody seemed to bitch about it, and Mitch got choked out a couple minutes later anyway. So, it didn't make national news or anything like that. So a splinter in your toe, here, you play ref. What's the right call? What do you think should happen?
I mean, he followed the rule book. I mean, if there was an exchange or there was something that could have been argued about it, that it was a non-injury, a non-combat related injury.
I'll have to see to the extent Mark Goddard told him to keep going.
Yeah, there was definitely a stoppage. I think they said it on the broadcast team that he warned them, like, we can't stop the fight, like, you can't. So
and did the fighter stop again?
Yeah, they stopped twice, and the second time he called it, and the guy, I think his opponent was having a little bit of trouble kind of understanding what was going on and he's literally standing there in the post fight, and they panned down to his toe, and I posted it. There was a good 1/8 inch of whatever sticking out of his foot. So it's not, them little splinters, man, they get in there in the bottom of your feet sometimes, and it makes it impossible to even try and function. So I get it.
I wish, and this is just wishful thinking, I wish there was like a special asterisk in the back of the rule book that had something, a common sense rule, because that's not part of the fight. Getting a splinter in your foot, that's not part of the fight.
One thing, you throw a shot or two and you've had knee troubles in the past or something, or you throw a kick and your knee pops or your shoulder, like it.
That's a TKO.
Yeah.
But it's like
precedence has been set.
Yeah, I guess that's it. It's like I said, I wish they would have gotten to a point where we could have a common sense rule where the referee is allowed to, assess the situation, discuss it, and think about what's the right thing to do here.
I mean, honestly, depending on where you're at, and this is France, so this is completely outside, still unified rules, but completely outside the realm of what your scope, I think, a little bit. I think what is the standard operating procedure in the United States under unified rules for a doctor to look at something?
Here's the thing.
Could he have had the doctor come in, boom, pop it out?
Yes, 100%. If I saw a guy that was cut very badly and there's a neutral point in the fight, I could absolutely call time, have the doctor come check out an abnormality, whatever it would be, a splinter in the toe, a cut above the eye, and tell me if the fighter could keep going. And I really feel like if Mark Goddard had called the doctor in and the doctor, removed the splinter and they kept fighting, I don't think any fans or any athletic commission would have said, hey, that was the wrong fucking decision.
No, because I mean, there was literally a minute 20. There's no exchange. It was a minute 20 into the first. There was no exchange. It was just so you're not taking away momentum like you do with a grounded opponent where you got to sort the street. You're not doing any of that.
You know what? There you go. You just thought of something that I didn't think of, and imagine the pressure of thinking of this thing in the moment. No, I'm
not shitting on Goddard. I'm just simply saying, and also, there's the added. Sometimes, in certain cases, there's the added disadvantage of a fucking language barrier. Well, there was no language. Cedric speaks English. Okay. So maybe the accent, maybe there was no communication. Then again, the rule's the rule. But if it's an abnormality during the fight, it's hit or miss. You got to pick when you use it, because I really feel like the PFL is probably sitting there going, okay, this is the whole reason everybody was here. I mean, no disrespect to any of the other card fighters.
Yeah. You know what? Your
Cedric Doumbé fight in Paris, France is a Conor McGregor fight in Dublin, Ireland. It's a Derek Lewis fight in Houston. You know what I'm saying? Maybe to the different scale, but Cedric Doumbé is a huge star over there for those that don't know. So to see
I really think
a little disappointing.
I really think what you just came up with, and listen, I've had 8-9 years worth of refereeing. I've had 4 or 5 years worth of fighting. Your idea is better than mine. And it took us discussing it on the show to figure out what the right thing to do is. Yeah, he could have called the doctor in, had the doctor say, hey, this guy has, something other than the fight, something other than the thing in the fight caused the issue. And I think if he was pressed about why he didn't make a call one way or another, if he would have said, listen, we're here to see mixed martial arts and skill settle the fight, not a splinter, I don't think anybody would have bitched at all. Like, I think that would have been the perfect thing to do. But like I said, I've had the privilege of having an hour to think about it, discuss it with you, read about it online. Like, that guy had to make that call in like 10 seconds, Yeah,
it's a little nuts. Like I said, it's not I'm not mad at it. I just think there's other ways you could have.
No, it's a huge.
I don't know what SOP is over there. I don't know what. Clearly you have to have 15 different, the knowledge of 15 different commissions here, because everybody always has a nuanced version of the rule. You have 26 referees that all interpret the downed opponent rule the same way. So when you come to a splinter that nobody's fucking dealt with, and that's not the craziest thing that we heard today. So we spent 10 minutes on Cedric Doumbé's fucking splinter, and apparently Mike Tyson's fighting Jake Paul at Dallas Cowboys Stadium in Texas.
Let's give that its own segment. Are we ready to talk about that? Is that where we're ready to go?
I mean, you got some personal stuff to attest to today, so we can hit it as long or as hard as you want to. But Mike Pope had some interesting comments. I was talking to Mike earlier on Facebook.
This is just, I have not seen what anybody else has posted about this. I will say I did immediately go to the don't gamble, kids. Gambling is bad. But I went to the odds to see what the hell the Vegas thinks of this. Jake Paul opened as a -300 favorite.
I know, I saw that.
Jake Paul is a young athlete. And I know people want to hate on him for whatever. What's Jake Paul? 25, 26? I mean, 27 something.
Yeah, something. There's two schools of thought with it, but go ahead.
He's entering his prime. He has unlimited money and time to train, hire the best nutritionist, do everything he has to do. Mike Tyson's almost 60, man. And the name is doing more for you than anything Mike Tyson has done recently. When Mike Tyson retired, he took some losses to some guys that were just a shell of talent. They weren't that great. I think David Byrd was the last guy. Put your little put your computer skills to use there. Bring up BoxRec. Show me Mike Tyson's last 4 fights, and tell me the record of the last 2 guys that beat Mike Tyson 20 years ago or whenever it was, and he fought.
I don't even
dude,
feel like doing that because it's irrelevant. He's again, like you just made the
he's
point.
almost
20
60,
years
man.
ago, 57 years old.
People don't understand that time takes its toll on you. You know. Now,
However,
if 60-year-old, if 58-year-old Jake Paul was fighting 58-year-old Mike Tyson, yeah, Mike Tyson wins. Jake Paul's young and in his prime and athletic and strong. Mike Tyson's 60, man. You know, 58. Call it whatever you want. He's
seen
58.
Tyson hitting pads though? Have you seen Tyson hitting pads?
I know. I man, listen. If
How
you
the
think
fuck are you 57 years old and it's still that scary to watch that man crack pads?
I'm pulling for Mike Tyson on every level, man. You know, I am. I know this is a young man's game.
You're only saying that because you're old. So you're not. Mike, here's the deal. Much like Francis Ngannou is the. Hold on, we got somebody commenting.
Jake Paul is going to take this very seriously. He really is. You know, I'll give Jake Paul credit.
Daryl O'Reilly, all the way from Galway in Ireland, said Kevin McBride KO'd him. He said, a guy here from Ireland that's not even Irish knew much about. Shout out to Daryl. Tuning in from across the pond there.
Jake Paul should win this fight. I'm pulling for Mike Tyson. I wanna feel like my generation is the best, and blah, blah, Mike Tyson's almost 60 fucking years old, man. Can he do that for three? Can he do that for 3 or 4 rounds? You know, I can hit pads viciously for 45 seconds to a minute, like vicious. And then
there's Fish, dude. There's Vicious, and then there's Tyson. Like
I'll tell you what. As far as money goes, this is a win-win for Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. Yeah, Mike Tyson's going to get a nice little $2-3 million payday off this, if not more. You know, Jake Paul is going to get whatever he gets off it. Say what you want about Jake Paul. As somebody who knows how to market and entertain, that guy's 10 out of 10. You know,
first of all, that's why I said there's 2 schools of thought with it. So, please, Brent wants to see your pad video.
I'll tell you what. I will post it online and tag Brent. I was at Urban Air and I got to hit the bag machine the other day with Maddie. Yeah. My daughter, they had one of those little things that you scan. The thing comes down, the punch machine that they do at the PI. You know.
Yeah.
I was interested to see what old Bill Bookwalter could still do. I'm still up towards the 900s. I can. He's such a dick. Yeah, I'm still up around the 900 range. So good old Bill Bookwalter still got a little something left in the tank. But it's easy to do it when nobody's hitting back. Jake Paul is a young athlete in his prime. I don't know of many 60-year-olds that are beating 27 years old in combat sports. That being said, I'm still pulling for Mike Tyson, man.
There's like I said, there's 2 schools of thought. The kid, both him and his brother, and I'm not a big wrestling fan.
Mm-hmm.
I was as a kid, whatever. For what they've been able to accomplish through just hard work and putting themselves out there and the creative minds that they have, I support them 100%. But it's the fuck shit of, and again, this is not taken away because anybody that trains and makes the walk gets respect. But like the guy that Jake Paul just fought is a full-time Uber driver. You're over here claiming this and claiming that and claiming this, and you're fighting guys that are still at the level where they have to have a full-time job. And that, like, you got to know your place. And again, guys throughout history that have came up through, they were brash, they taught. I mean, you can go back to the original in boxing anyways. Go look at Muhammad Ali. When people were sitting there, when Muhammad Ali was coming up, and I'm sure the boxing purists were like, oh, there's no need for that. Look at this guy, and blah, blah, blah. The game's changed a little bit. So while you don't need to sit there and dig on people's dead relatives and do this, do that, like, he's love him or hate him, you're tuning in.
He's an entertainer, man.
But either way, you're paying.
He's an entertainer. So, he knows what he's doing. He's smart. You know, there's no, you know, he just beat some 17-2 Uber driver, and he's reading all the headlines in the paper like you and I are, dogging him, and he comes out immediately, like what, a week or 2 after, and he's fighting Mike Tyson.
The week after, and this is if this had been planned Well, and again, they know how to fucking market it. Him and his brother both know how to capitalize on shit like this.
They're very smart. You know how to make people stop talking about some scrub that you beat up last week. Announce a fight with Mike Tyson. That people won't be talking about that last fight anymore. He changed the direction of the conversation real quick. I'm pulling for Mike Tyson though, but I don't see how it works.
Is there a universe where Iron Mike takes a paycheck just to lay down, just to give the boy the name?
Maybe.
Boxing's crooked as fuck. Nah, Tyson's not a lot. Mike Tyson don't need no more money.
I don't think he's gonna lay down. I think he's gonna try, but I also think, man, who's turning down a $2 to $3 million paycheck?
I mean,
for a night of work, $2
to $3 million, you're gonna show up and keep your legacy intact.
Yeah,
it's like the same people that said Mayweather carried McGregor. Why
he did?
I don't think he did.
Wait, Mayweather?
Yeah, I don't think Mayweather carried McGregor. I think Mayweather went out there and based again on age appropriateness and his hands being busted up, and you didn't see peak Mayweather the same way when Jake Paul fought Nate Diaz. That was Nate Diaz. It wasn't Nate Diaz.
I'll say it when I watched that McGregor Mayweather fight. Okay, maybe he didn't care. He stuck to his game plan, which was to let McGregor punch himself out, avoid all the heavy shit. And like I said, everybody's got their own train of thought on this. Floyd Mayweather is the best boxer of all time. The point of boxing is not to stand there and play rock'em sock'em robots. It's to hit and not be hit. Nobody has ever done it better than Floyd Mayweather. It might not be the most exciting thing you've ever seen. It's not my cup of tea. It's not a tough man contest. Nobody has ever done it better than Floyd Mayweather in regards to hit and not get hit. So for him to sit there and let McGregor throw all the power out the window for the first 5 or 6 rounds and then turn it up a notch, okay, maybe he didn't carry him. I don't think Mayweather was ever going to go after McGregor in the early rounds, but he let the fight go on because that was part of his game plan.
Well, I also don't see him knocking Conor out either. You know what I'm saying? Like there's again 2 schools of thought with it. Like I don't think he carried him, but I don't think again.
Well, not early. I think Mayweather knew if I just take this into the later rounds, he's not going to be near as dangerous as he is in the first few. Right. And that's exactly what we saw. And Mike Tyson has always said this about Floyd Mayweather. He said he lives in the gym. He said that's his heroin, that's his drug. He lives in the gym. That's all he's known his whole life. So he's going to be sharp. Now if
even when he's not, yeah.
No, Floyd Mayweather, he's the entertainer. Jake Paul did a really good job. I announced this, and I'll tell you what, I gotta say it. I don't know that I'm going to pay for it, but I am going to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. We're going to watch, and that's at the end of the day, you can sit there and run your mouth and do everything you want. Pope made a good point about it today, and he said, all you fucks are just sharing these posts, and he's winning because you're sharing the posts. And I'm like, yeah, but 2 fights ago, people didn't even know who he was fighting. So if you're not going to share it, it's Mike Tyson. So
I think Jake Paul realized that Ryan Borland, I believe, was the guy that Jake Paul fought. When Jake Paul realized nobody knew who this motherfucker was, he's like, all right, team, we got to change direction.
No, I think, I think this has been in the works for months. I think that you have 2 fights that you just fought, 2 events that you just fought that outside of people really paying attention or local people fighting on the card, Jake Paul's had 2 fights in the last 8 months. He had quarter last year in Orlando, and then he had this one in Puerto Rico, and Serrano got pulled off the card. And that's maybe another reason why people tuned in was because he had Serrano. But if you think about where Serrano is in boxing, of course, that's a draw. So
I do have to laugh because after he KO'd Ryan Borland, and Ryan Borland was like 17-2 or some shit like that. After he KO'd this guy, and Borland looked like he had no ability at all. So whatever, he beat him. He called out Canelo Alvarez. Jake Paul, I really think he believes in his heart that he wants to fight Canelo Alvarez. He doesn't. Like Canelo would make him look stupid, like real stupid, I don't know if anybody, and I really do think that is his end goal, is he wants to fight Canelo Alvarez. Which, dude, I will bet the 401k on that. Jake Paul stands no chance against Canelo Alvarez. You know, Canelo Alvarez is really top level, top notch. I think the only guy to ever beat Canelo Alvarez was Floyd Mayweather back when he was young. I think in his heart of hearts, I think Jake Paul wants to fight Canelo Alvarez because he believes in himself. But you know, if you can't make it past Tommy Fury, you know, you're not. And even if you make it past Tommy Fury, you're not beating Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah. So, well, we've just spent 26 minutes talking about boxing and a splinter. So, with that being said, Francis Ngannou.
I saw that.
2 points for Francis Ngannou. He weighed in 20 pounds heavier than Anthony Joshua. And what he said to Fury, because I don't care if Francis Ngannou is boxing or not. I'm Team Francis. I like what he's doing. The UFC probably did, I wouldn't say drop the ball, but I think a lot of these guys are seeing there's light at the end of the tunnel. Francis is also like an oddball, same way John Jones is like a unicorn when it comes to size and length. And Francis Ngannou just has the story. He has the dedication. He's got the drive. But I 100% will forever play that soundbite of him telling Tyson Fury, the only thing that keeps you safe is the rules of boxing.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Francis Ngannou's ground game wrestling is not the greatest. Like,
still way better than Tyson Fury's.
Exactly.
It's still way better than Tyson Fury's. Francis Ngannou literally took Tyson Fury's cheeks at the press conference. I mean, he took his cheeks right in front of everybody. He said, yeah, what's the soundbite? He said, the only thing that's keeping you safe is the rules of boxing. It's the only place you stand a chance. He said,
I beat you every day and twice on Sunday is what he said.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God.
Outside of boxing.
He literally just demasculated Tyson Fury because you know what? He's right. If you stick Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou in a room together and say, hey, whoever walks out gets $5 million, Francis Ngannou's coming out of that room in about 20 seconds. I mean, that shit would be over rather quickly.
Two of my favorite things from when I trained. One, there was a Gold's Gym like a mile away, and it was always nice when the Gold's Gym meatheads wandered into the MMA gym thinking that their bench max was shit. And the second thing that's my favorite is when boxers are in there and you get a boxer to take a leg kick. Those are my meatheads, Gold's Gym meatheads at jiu-jitsu class, and boxers taking leg kicks are probably my two favorite things to witness in the gym.
I would honestly, and this is my heart of hearts, I try and be as honest as I can. I think Ngannou would probably kick Tyson Fury twice in the leg, maybe 3 times before Tyson Fury calls it a day. It would be the most disappointing fight any of us as combat sports fans have seen in our life. Tyson Fury would get kicked about 3 times and just call it quits.
I mean, if you sit there and take into consideration that when he knocked out Overeem, and when I say knocked out, I mean sent his soul into the shadow realm, and consciousness left his body. If you watch the Overeem fight, and I've watched it a bunch of times, he hit him with like an off balance, like a shovel hook. And it wasn't even it was just a weird punch. And I understand sometimes the weirdest shit. We're going to talk about MVP in a little bit. Sometimes the most awkward looking stuff just lands. It doesn't look like it lands flush, but it hits. But when I tell you that Overeem's soul left his body, I'm not exaggerating that. Part of him, he was never the same after that.
Francis Ngannou hits very hard. It's well documented. You know,
not as
he's a dude. He's what, 6'4", 260-ish,
something.
Like probably, I'm guessing probably 7 or 8% body fat, maybe. Like the guy's ridiculous, man.
272, I think, is what he weighed in at for the Joshua fight.
And that's on Saturday, correct?
No, that is tomorrow. We had PFL Europe tonight, Ngannou, Joshua tomorrow, and then we'll get into this here.
Ooh, that's a sexy card, man. That's a very sexy card.
I'm so stoked for this
some people are saying this one beats UFC 300.
I say let's look at the positive of things, and let's say that in the history of recent memory, you have not seen two cards back to back that every single fight on both cards could be
These are very good fights.
Its own main event. So
these are very good fights.
No, gambling is bad.
Gambling is horrible.
10 p.m. Eastern. 10 p.m. Eastern start time for that. I think we'll stick here, or you want to let's just peek at the early prelims.
Let's go to the very bottom because like we know a lot of people on these two cards. It's not random people from Mexico or Brazil that you don't know who the fuck they are.
Yeah, sure. Start Joanne Wood, John Wood's wife, head coach of Syndicate out there in Las Vegas. I haven't been paying attention, so I haven't covered. I don't have the early prelims covered. So since you wanted to go there, we could just peruse it.
Yeah, the early prelims, other prelims. Yeah, I know Josh Parisian. Oh, that's that Olympic guy.
That's the 6'7", the guy with the longer reach than.
That's a skit, dude. Oh my god! If you listen, what are the? I can't see it. I don't know what the odds are on that. This Robelis guy, I've seen highlights of him fighting. He kills Josh Parisian. I mean, he crushes Josh Parisian.
Total
it's not even close.
52 seconds or something like 19 seconds or something. It's insane.
Yeah, you know what? I don't bet that often anymore. But that's a first round TKO for Robelis. First round.
We'll see.
Michelle Pereira. For those. Let me jar your memory. For those, Michelle Pereira. He is like the capoeira dancer guy that like jumps off the cage. He'll do backflips in the guy's a wild card. You don't even know what he's doing, but he is a very, very dangerous striker, very athletic. I believe he TKOs this other guy.
Cutelaba featured early prelim. I always like watching him fight. Felipe Lin's no stranger to the cage. He's been around for a minute.
Ian Cutelaba's weigh-ins are normally, and his weigh-ins are normally the most entertaining point of the fights. I mean, he gets in there, and I mean, I think he beat the hockey player Bosso or something like that, Steve Bosso or something last fight out.
Bosser.
Yeah, Tanner something or other.
Yeah, Bosser. He's got a loss to that Walker Cutelaba fight was crazy. I mean, he's got some wins and some losses. He's probably like a 500 guy. He had the split decision draw with Jacoby back in 21.
I'll tell you what, he is intense. He doesn't see the decision. He doesn't see the end of 3 rounds a lot. I'll tell you that.
No. So,
yeah, Ian Cutelaba is the guy that kind of duped one of my buddies into stopping a fight way early against Magomed Ankalaev by like playing rope-a-dope and acting like he was hurt, and he did such a good job that the referee stopped the fight.
Yeah, I remember that. I do remember that.
Yeah, and then they rematched, and Ankalaev knocked him out in the first round anyway. So,
Ankalaev's Ankalaev. So Pedro Munoz, Kyler Phillips.
That's a coin flip. I don't know who wins that fight.
I'd like to see Pedro take it. Still got a number next to his name.
Okay.
One of them, he always hangs around the top 15. Oh, boy. This one, couple fun facts about RDA. I was doing my research for the show. We got 48th pro fight, 21 and 13 in the UFC. You can add those up. 35 fights in the UFC. Has struggled with wrestlers. Gave up 8 takedowns versus Luque, so I don't think that's a good look. He's definitely probably the better striker, though. I think out of the two,
we can agree. We can agree he is on the back 9, right? He's heading towards the end of his career. He fought Luque, and I mean, when I saw him fight Vicente Luque, Dos Anjos, like Joe Rogan likes to call him, which is probably correct. He seemed perfectly content to lean against the cage. He had no power. There was just not a whole lot there.
That was
This
also
Gamrot,
at 170, and this is at 155. Not that makes a difference, but I think that might be a valid. He's going up and down so much that it could have.
okay. No, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But if he doesn't, I think Gamrot wins this fight. I mean, Dos Anjos in years past has out volumed people with leg kicks and this and this and this.
Yeah.
I think Gamrot. Let me tell you this for sure. The UFC wants Gamrot to win this fight. I'll tell you that for sure. That's 100%.
I mean, 6 out of 7. He beat Fiziev last time. He was the backup for Volk versus Islam.
Mhm.
I think he's just got to fucking take the takedowns. As like I said with the Luque fight, he's just got to keep working those takedowns, marching forward, a little bit of pressure, and I think he should be able to control the pace a little bit more and just got to keep Dos Anjos on his back foot and threaten the takedown a few times. And I think that you
Wait,
might have.
Gamrot has a win over Fiziev?
I
Did I hear you say that right?
I believe so. Yeah, 23.
Oh my!
Ended 23, third quarter of 23.
Wasn't that an injury though? Was that an injury?
You know what? That might have been. Well, TKO, so I don't know. Was it maybe an injury?
I don't remember seeing Fiziev finished off like that. Oh shit!
It might have been an injury. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I can look it up.
Yeah, we'll figure that out another time.
We'll figure that out another time.
No, I'll tell you what. A win over Fiziev is much better than Dos Anjos at this point in time.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Yeah,
like I said, there's a lot of these next couple cards. There's a lot of guys on their way up against guys that have either been hanging around the top 15 for a while or they're on their way back down. You saw it with Yair Rodriguez and Brian Ortega. Last time we got this time. Speaking of that, Caitlin Chukagian got married and she's now Caitlin Seminara.
Yep, she married a wrestler from down here in the Philadelphia, Jersey area named Kyle Seminara, who was a pro fighter for a little bit, but his career didn't take off for whatever reason, But yes, that is Caitlin Chukagian. I've refereed her a few times for those that don't remember. Macy Barber. I don't know who wins this fight.
Never been. Well, it's again same situation. You got Caitlin who's hanging around up at the top there, but she's getting a little long in the tooth. Macy Barber, never been finished in 15 pro fights, 5 fight winning streak. She's got power. Her clinch game's excellent. She mixes her skills very well. She's not overly aggressive, and I think with Caitlin on the other end, she's only ever been finished by Shevchenko and Andrade, and if you're going to get finished by 2 women in that division, that's probably the 2 most serious cases. I think if she she's been fighting disciplined and smart. Like I said, we've been kind of following her since CFFC, so if you followed her for a while, you definitely have seen the evolution of her game a little bit. Last time out, she missed weight, which was her only time in the history of her pro career. She's got an excellent jab. Her teep to the body is nasty. So I think if she can keep Macy back a little bit, use that range, stay on her bike a little bit, I think she can't just stand there in front of Macy. So I'd like to see Macy win this. I am again followed Caitlin for a while. She's a PA fighter. You know how we stand with them, but
I definitely think the over 2.5 rounds is the lock. I think that one goes to decision no matter what happens.
Yeah,
Seminara, Caitlin Chukagian, she's not an easy out. She hangs in there, and like you said, only Andrade, who is crazy aggressive, and Shevchenko has finished her. So
yeah,
that's I don't know who wins the fight. God knows what the judges are going to look at or what they're going to score. Who knows?
Oh, Darrell O'Reilly with the save. Fiziev tore his ACL.
There we go. Okay. I was like, man, if you beat Rafael Fiziev, if you beat that guy, that's a good win. That's a better win than Dos Anjos. But yeah, if he tore something, thank you, Daryl.
Yeah, Daryl's on top. That's why I like to have Daryl. Daryl, I'm trying to get Daryl to come on the show. Round 2, there's Daryl. Daryl, why don't you I'll send you the link, bud. Just come on, hang out, and talk to him.
Like Garrett says, come on, chop it up.
Chop it up, man. This is the best hang in combat sports.
Who we got next, man? Who we got next? Oh,
here's hears Kenny Florian brought up a good point about Jite and Alameda. People see the little Brazil thing here, and they're like, okay, they think they know the story of what's going on. Alameda's from an area that's not known for producing high-level Brazilian jiu-jitsu stars.
Okay.
I think that the Derek Lewis, this is a twofold kind of comment. Derek Lewis ground game has come a little bit of a long way to be able to survive on the bottom for that long. However, there's a two-sided coin to that because Alameda probably should have been able to put Derek Lewis away.
That was one of the worst efforts. I'll call him out. That was one of the worst efforts I've ever seen in my entire life. One of the worst efforts. The referee's begging you to fight.
And of course, this was the fight that was supposed to happen. This was the fight that was supposed to happen, and it was rescheduled, or it was Blades had to pull out. Derek Lewis came in as a fill-in. So again, other parts of the story. Blades, I definitely. Bill left again. Blades cleaner striker for sure. Better wrestling. Again, Alameda's not going to be able to do what he did to Derek Lewis, I don't believe.
This has potential to be an absolute snooze fest. I'll call it here, call it now. We'll recap the card next week. This has a chance to be one of the most boring fights you've ever seen in your entire life.
Yeah, and I think that's why Curtis Blades does a 5 next to his name, because he does show up. He shows up to fight, but it's not the slobber knocker, as old JR would say, that we're expecting.
Curtis Blades has one of the, and listen, I always keep it honest. We're an MMA show. We talk about it. Curtis Blades has my award for probably one of the lowest IQ fights I've ever seen in my entire life. He fought Sergey Pavlovich a couple ago.
Yeah.
This man, after seeing Alistair Overeem take Sergey Pavlovich down and beat the hell out of him, Curtis Blades decided it would be a good idea to stand with Sergey Pavlovich and trade some stand-up until he was hurt and then try some lame-ass shot. Are you out of your goddamn mind? Are you out of your fucking mind? Like, he's trying to stand with Sergey Pavlovich. Like, get him out of here. Like, it was the lowest IQ thing I've ever seen in my life.
What the fuck's your problem?
It was one, and then you know what? For Curtis Blades to do that, and then Jaden Almeida, who could have finished Derek Lewis from the second round on, to do whatever the fuck he was doing, get him out of here. Like, but this has potential to be the most boring fight you've ever seen in your life. Disgusting. And like you said, respect to anybody that makes the walk, but come on, man. Know what the hell you're doing out there. Know why you're there. You know, people would kill for your spot. And that's what you're coming out to do.
We just want to remind you that this week's pre-ref rant was brought to you by 500 Level Code Fight Show. Bill's over here with a comfy 500 Level UFC brand, officially licensed, and that's what I like about this guy's officially licensed hoodie. And he's comfy as all hell, sitting in the car.
Dude, this is nice. I dig this hoodie. This is in the rotation. This is in the rotation of the 4 or 5 hoodies that I reach for. This is a good one.
All right. Well, we digress.
Sorry for that. We haven't even hit the main card now. I'm sitting here ranting. Okay, good.
More on 500 level as we progress on. Peter Yan, Song Yadong, say that 5 times fast.
The fans should be glad to see both of these guys walk down the aisle after they watch the Blades Almeida fight. This one has potential to be very, very good. I have no idea who wins. I don't know. That one's very good.
Yeah,
Peter Yan needs to win. Peter Yan needs to win, though.
Peter Yan's 8-4 in the UFC, and 3 of the 4 were after he lost the championship. Former champ, lost 3 in a row. Merab O'Malley's fought Sterling twice. Took a year off. I think if he just backs, he just has to control the center of the cage and keep Song Yadong on his back foot. And,
Peter Yan has lost 3 in a row. He doesn't suck. He's lost to the elite of the elite. You know.
Yeah.
But Song Yadong's hungry too, and he's a beast, and he hits hard. I think Yadong is he Team Alpha Male guy? Does he train out there with them or no?
I don't remember offhand. But he pieced up Ricky Simone. He's definitely, I think, going to be faster than Peter Yan. Peter Yan, of course, with the more of the resume.
Yeah.
Chris Brancato just stopped in. Yan needs to win, but Yadong is on fire. We got to get so many Y's here, guys. I can't.
That's a good fight. It's a good fight.
It's definitely going to be a good fight. I think it's got potential for either side to win. It's kind of like a coin flip. As far as I'm concerned, I am not betting currently. I have other things that I have to pay attention to. Gilbert
That's a wise
Burns.
man.
Gilbert
I have no
Burns.
idea who wins that fight. I have no idea who wins that fight. Neither one of those guys gets finished that often, though. I'll tell you that shit. That's probably going to be a banger to the end of the bell.
Much like we alluded to earlier, we got a lot. Next two cards, you have a lot of guys that are on the way up and on the way down on the other side of the card. So JDM, 16-fight win streak. He's 6-0 in the UFC. 3-0 in 23. Last two fights were split decision, though. 11 KOs, 2 subs. Hasn't fought the same level of people as Gilbert Burns, because let's not forget Gilbert Burns has fought who's who.
And if Gilbert Burns decides to take that to the ground, if he can get it to the ground, I think he has a real good advantage,
Yeah,
JD
he's a great counter puncher, so getting in there and getting his hands on him and getting him down, I think, is probably going to be Gilbert's easiest path to victory. Gilbert, of course, former title challenger, 3-2 since the loss to Usman. He needs to. One thing, I heard something this week, and I kind of was watching some film on him, and it resonated a little bit. Really good on the ground. He gets you there. It's a problem. He can hold his own on his feet, but the meshing of the two, I think he really needs to work a little bit more. And I say this with all respect to Gilbert Burns, like just being able to intertwine the two seamlessly, I think is something that's kind of held him up, especially like in the Usman fight. You saw it a little bit. He's definitely definitely hit the takedown. He's going to need to smother him a little bit, and just like I think the easiest path to victory is going to be that takedown.
And for Della Maddalena, he is by far, maybe not by far, but he is clearly the more crisp striker.
Oh, yeah.
He's definitely sharper than Gilbert Burns. So no idea who wins this one. I have no idea.
Kevin Holland, Michael Venom Page. I've been a fan of MVP for such a minute, but like Holland, 20 fights since 2018. They're both shit talkers, so it's kind of shitty that this is the fight. This fight probably should have been at the Apex, and it might have been.
Can you imagine? No, this is good for the fans. You want a live crowd for this one. You don't want this at the Apex.
It is good for the fan, but we always like the Apex when they start talking shit. It's the only
can you imagine if Michael Venom Page gets in there and starts like awkwardly kind of bouncing around like he does, and Kevin Holland just bitch slaps the hell out of him?
Well, the thing
talk some shit.
The thing with Michael Page, the blitz is looking tense. Kenny Florian said he creates these car crash situations, and while he's in there, he's picking these shots. And much like we talked about that Ngannou, that shovel hook for Overeem, they're like weird, awkward shots, and they don't look like they hit flush, but they will put guys out. You remember, this is the guy that Chris Cyborg's ex-husband had to get a plate installed in his head because MVP left a nice kneecap size divot in his head.
He caved his fucking head in.
One of his last fights in Bellator, he broke a guy's knee with a kick. Again, these are all caveated occurrences. 16-2 in Bellator. He decided it was a good idea to go fight Mike Perry in BKFC, regardless of how that turned out for him. It still takes a lot of balls. Never been subbed. He does close the distance fast. I think Holland needs to be patient a little bit and kind of pick his timing on these things because of MVP's awkward style and the blitzes. I think Holland, not saying MVP's a slouch on the ground, but I think he definitely needs to be looking for takedowns.
Listen, call it. I'm calling it here on the show, and you can call me out next week. Kevin Holland by submission. Kevin Holland takes that guy down and hits him with a Darce choke or a head and arm triangle, something like that. Venom Page has never faced the guys at the UFC level. Kevin Holland has, Kevin Holland, I'd be shocked if he decides to stand in the middle of the cage and try and strike with Venom Page. He has a clear grappling advantage. I believe Kevin Holland wins that by submission. That's just me throwing it out there.
I mean, we'll see.
No. That's why that's why the fights happen, and they're just not on opinion.
Yeah, thank God. Thank God everything that happens in the UFC isn't based on Bill's opinion.
I'm wrong a lot. I'm wrong a lot, bro. Like, shockingly.
Benoit Saint
Oh
Denis
my
and
God,
Dustin
yeah.
Diamond Poirier. I'm honestly super excited for this fight.
I have no idea who wins that one.
BSD, the most murderous Benoit in combat sports. Second
He is a
only in
killer.
sports.
Dude, he's a killer. Legitimately a killer.
Killer. Second only to Chris Benoit, who is in sports entertainment and allegedly.
Stop.
Um,
Stop.
so
You killed me. Yeah.
it's the Dave.
Did I just say you kill me right now? Jesus Christ.
I don't have a drum. I should do the old drum roll there.
But,
BST Dustin Poirier. BST French Special Forces, if you didn't know, has actually killed people with his bare hands, allegedly. 21, he had that short notice debut. I wouldn't say he looked horrible, but he survived one of the worst ass whoopings I've ever seen in my life inside the octagon. 5 in a row since. 5 KOs or KOs, all KOs are submissions. Like you were alluding to earlier, he does get hit a lot. He needs to be careful. He definitely needs to look for takedowns and take Poirier out of his element, because Dustin Poirier quite possibly has some of the crispest boxing.
Poirier is by far the best guy he's ever fought. By far.
Yes.
Durable. And help me out here. I could be wrong. I'm wrong a lot. Was Poirier's last fight the Gaethje knockout, or did he win one after that? I can't even remember.
Poirier's never lost 2 in a row, and his last fight was the Gaethje knockout. So when I say this, and I also feel like you can label him the number 1 counterpuncher probably in the UFC.
He's going to be sharp.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be sharp.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's not going to take unnecessary risk and stand in the pocket in front of the guy. I mean, everything's going to be moving. Poirier is still very, very good.
Can we his resume? Chandler, Holloway, Connor twice, like just
the best of the best.
Yeah, Dustin's been around doing it for a minute. But again, much like the theme of the night, we've discussed this. BSD on his way up, Dustin Poirier on his way down, and I really think they make him look like a Muppet in this picture, and I think they should retake it. Sean O'Malley versus Chito Vera, with the winner facing Merab, our favorite Mexican, Davishvili.
Let me go on record and say Merab beats either one of these guys. So
I'm looking,
Merab, he beats either one of these.
Yeah,
he's really good. No, he's really good.
Outlast him. I wouldn't say he will definitely outlast them and outwork them. Sean O'Malley, you can't deny, like, take the hype train away from everything and take
he can fight.
Yeah, the guy can fight. Footwork's crisp. He's only getting better. He's only improving. He does what he does. He lives his life how he lives his life. Who gives a fuck? The guy's definitely
interesting hairstyle.
It is what it is, man. It is what it is. But
we're going blue and pink. No, O'Malley can fight. He can.
Cheetos.
And Dana White loves the guy. Durable. You know.
Cheeto's durable. Never been finished. I think he's got to start early with the leg kicks.
Yes, I agree.
I think if you do the footwork, if you're going to check boxes here, O'Malley's definitely going to check in the footwork department. So unless Cheeto's drastically improved, I think if you look at the loss, if you want to check what I'm talking about, if you look at the loss to Sandhagen, it really showed Corey's footwork outworked him. But I don't know, man. This is one of them coin flips.
Can we agree that O'Malley is on a different level than the first time they fought? Confidence-wise, ability-wise, he's on a different level, you know?
The constant improvement I mentioned earlier. So, yeah.
Yeah.
10 p.m. start time, guys. That's the main card there. We covered it. Bill's going to cut it short real quick. I just wanted to grab a couple of these and let you guys know, show you what we got here. Bill's got the hoodie on. I got the graphic up on the screen. I personally went and grabbed myself the Iliad's Pours. So shout out to 500level.com. They sent us a care package, but
thank you very much. 500level.com. Thank you very much. That was very nice, you guys.
Appreciate it. Officially licensed. You guys can check it out here. They're not bullshit. This isn't some bootleg.
It's this nice sweatshirt, man.
Yeah,
this is in the rotation. Even in the middle of the summer on the boardwalk at Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, this is in the rotation of comfy shit. I got comfy shit that I normally reach for if I need it. So
got the Sean Brady
shirt. I like it.
America's champ Sean Strickland. I got a UFC shirt back here,
You know I'm going to buy a Strickland shirt.
and of course,
I'm gonna get a Strickland shirt and wear it on next week's show.
that's my favorite one we got so far. The Poetan. 500level.com, guys. Code FightShow, 20% off. And then while we're sitting here talking about the great people that we work with, that we want you guys to know about, you can go ahead and head over to noslap.com and hit them with the code FightShow again. 20% off. It'll get you going. I promise. Bill's, I think, damn near addicted to it.
Carry it everywhere I go anymore.
Yeah. Anything to add, Bob?
No, just we heading into the little ref rant. I'd like to just say a little something if you want to hit it real quick, and then
Yeah, we'll go ahead up here and we'll throw it to the stage. And I'll give them.
I appreciate it.
Well, I'm just gonna.
Oh, I'll come back, Eric. Oh my God, I'm live on the internet by myself.
Oh, there you go. I'm back. I was
panicking
it for you.
I was like, oh my God, you left me live on the internet by myself. I don't even know what to do.
Hitting here, referent brought to you this week by No Slap. Like we said, guys, you can go to noslap.com, code FightShow, 20% off your order. Here's Bill Bookwalter with the referent.
All right, just taking there we go. Just taking a quick second here, using this time to, my referent is that in life, if we get caught up in dumb shit too much, we don't really focus in on what's important. And I bitch and complain and moan and this and this and this. Life's pretty good, man. I had some bad stuff go down this week. And I just want to give a shout out to my friend Dave. I didn't get to spend a lot of time with you. I didn't get to know you too long, but you were good to somebody that I really, really love. And I want to see the best for a friend of mine for 20 years. Her boyfriend that we had hung out with sometimes. He had emergency heart surgery a couple days ago, and he passed from septic shock today at 3:15. So my buddy Dave Z, just want to say thank you for being good to my person. Thank you for being good to my people. Anybody out there listening to this right now, I know it's all cliche and you read it online and you say, oh, hug the ones you love tight. No, seriously, man, do that shit. Like, be nice to people. I'm too mean sometimes, and days like today bring stuff back into check. So, like I said, I just want to take this quick minute to shout out my buddy Dave. Thank you for being good to my people. And yeah, let's all try and be kind to one another. Yeah, it's me banned from every social media thing saying be kind to one another. Yeah, just take life and recognize the moment and love the people you love and let them know you love them. All right, that's it. That's all I got, man. And I'm sorry, my mind's a mess today. This hit me by surprise.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
Yeah.
It happened. Sorry for your loss. Appreciate
it was quick.
Still.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you too, man. Dude, I got this cool ass sweatshirt that's in the rotation. I got this cool ass nose slap going up my nose. It's all thanks to you, man. I appreciate everything you do. I love you too, man.
And he still won't come to a fucking production meeting. Anyways,
right. Come on. You can call me out like that. I'm trying to do better, man.
All right, guys. I don't want to take away from what Bill said, but like we said, if we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys, go back one more time and address this just because we forgot the most important part here. 500level.com. A portion, when you use the code FightShow, a portion of every shirt, every item you buy, whether it be an MMA item, football item, baseball item, anything that use the code FightShow on 500level.com, a portion is going to Geese for GIs. We're going to have more stuff on them next week, and probably Brian, the head of Geese for GIs, come on and talk about their initiative. Doing great stuff, providing jiu-jitsu gis to combat sports training veterans across the world. He's done some good stuff, sent some gis a lot of places. So we will talk to him soon. But until then, we will see you guys next week. I'm sorry. We won't see you guys next week. We made it 25 shows without missing a week. We're taking a rare week off next week. We will be back. It's partially my fault. It's my kid's birthday. We got a lot of stuff going on. So
it's my overnight. It's my overnight to work anyway. So you're not.
He's so angry. He just left. He just blames himself. He said, "Fuck it, guys. I'm out. I can't be here."
No, I'm here. I'm here.
So we will be back in 2 weeks. Probably check out the content from us between now and then. Who knows what'll pop up? We'll have news for you guys then. Until then, Fight Show episode 25, presented by No Slap, 500 level, and 717 Surplus. We're out.